Hi, welcome to Infusion, the podcast. I'm comedian Chris Patrick, a.k.a. self-proclaimed power man. And I'm here with my co-host and significant other, Rach.
Hey, guys.
And today we got a great show for you. We got the owners of Winter Goddess Foods. Now, we met these guys a few years ago out at the farmer's market, and they're going to talk about being entrepreneurs, making a healthy product for everybody, an all-natural healthy product for everybody, and also being entrepreneurs and being at the market. So we're here with Nehemiah Inverse and Terry Williams, the owners of Winter Goddess Foods. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so how you guys have been in this for 12 years. So how did you guys come up with the product? How did you decide to go into business? Everything like that.
Well, it actually started with Nehemiah being injured. And
okay, what was he injured with?
He was working for TSA at the airport and ended up being injured on the job.
Okay.
To the point where he could not continue with the work, and we needed another income because we were at the time living on two incomes and suddenly not. Mm-hmm. And that coincided with a time when I was doing things like having salons in my home, and that means that I would have people over to read their own writing or maybe a piece of writing that they really liked, and I was serving chai.
Okay.
Chai.
Chai is black tea with spices with a little bit of milk and a little bit of sugar. It's very Indian, East Indian. There's lots of places that drink chai, and there are many recipes for it. But I had been working with some people to put a cookbook together to raise funds for Second Harvest Foods. Okay. And one of the recipes was chai.
Oh, okay.
Except that it was filled with all kinds of bad things, like most of it not real. And I decided, because I was encouraged by both Nehemiah and friends, that maybe I should produce this and package this and see about selling this. Mm-hmm. Except that I had to make it right. I had to make it real. So I worked on a recipe that included organic, fair trade ingredients, cleaned it up, took the creamer out, put in organic milk, that sort of thing. And that was our flagship product.
Okay.
And
was chai tea?
Chai. It's actually just chai.
Oh, okay. Chai.
The word chai means tea.
Okay.
So it's just chai.
Okay.
And we have several of them. One is just, as I described it, lightly sweetened with milk. And then we have a vegan version, which of course would not have any dairy in it. And then we have the unsweetened version for those who wish to manage their sugar their own way. Okay. And that's kind of where it started. I will let Nia speak more to that because he can tell you how it grew from there.
Okay.
Well, when Terry first served this at the salon, everyone raved about it. And they said, you should sell this stuff. Mm-hmm. And so Terry took it to heart, and we decided that we go into business. We thought, well, how do we do this?
Right.
We had neither one of us had ever run a business before.
Right.
And sat together. We did a little research and we found the local farmers market, which happened to be the Midtown farmers market. Mm-hmm. And so let's see if we can get in there and see if we can sell this.
Sure.
So that's where that started.
Okay.
What we wanted to do is we wanted to produce products that were good for people and that didn't have the bad stuff in it. I mean, there's so much on the market now with
completely healthy for them.
Yeah.
Where there's so much now that's it's a little better than it used to be in some measures, but there's so much. If you don't mind me saying, there's a lot of crap on the market.
Right. Yeah. No, go right ahead.
We know that.
It's very easy to get something with
extra preservatives and all that other stuff.
All types of things, with names you can't read.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's just not our way. We wanted to, as Terry would say, keep it simple, sweetie.
Yeah.
So that's our KISS principle.
Well, that's always the thing too, because we were talking last week about when went to the doctor, and the doctor says you have high blood pressure, and I would, of course, internet right now. So I did a lot of research on the internet, and I had to start reading labels. So I thought, well, hey, I got to cut the pop down. That's a lot of sodium. I'll drink Gatorade. Then I looked, Gatorade has sodium in it. So then I had to find something else to drink. And that's the thing too, is you got to start reading labels, and you got to start looking at it, because like you said, there is a lot of stuff out on the market, and when you read the label, you're like, what I think I'm eating is healthy is not healthy,
Exactly.
It's like I know a lot of people drink like naked juice or something like that. When you read the label, this is all concentrated. You know.
Yeah, and reading labels is absolutely essential. And if you're willing to put the work into it, you can create a product and you can consume a product that is not going to hurt you.
Yeah.
Like things with corn syrup. We don't use any corn syrup. We use no preservatives, no artificial anything. Now, it took a little while to figure that out because it's everywhere.
Right.
Right? It's everywhere. And if you're not reading and paying attention, I have looked at so many products that have corn syrup as the very first ingredient.
Yes.
And you wouldn't, and sugar where it shouldn't even be. So our job is not to talk you out of your treats.
Right.
Our job is to make a good treat for you.
And a lot of people don't understand that corn syrup, when processed in the body, is sugar.
Yeah.
And the body really struggles
Yes.
Yeah.
with corn syrup.
Yeah.
So
it can't process it.
So the candies that I make, no corn syrup. And it makes a difference.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you started out with the chai, and then how did you get into the granola? The granola and was it nuts that we got on the table here?
Well, we do have that, but before we get into the nuts,
Sure.
just to give you a little story about the chai.
Okay.
This was the all natural was the first product that we ever had. Now we did some other things. We distributed coffee for a friend of ours at one time.
Okay.
But we were at an event and we were serving the chai up as samples. And a lady came by and just said it just smells so good. And I offered her a cup and she says, "No, I can't have it. I'm diabetic. I wish you had an unsweetened." And that's one of the reasons we try to be responsive to our people,
Right.
and to find out the things that they like, and we adjust accordingly as much as we can. The next week, I had produced an unsweetened version of the chai.
Okay.
Over the years, being at the market, we were running into a large contingent of vegan folks. And they expressed an interest in a vegan chai.
Okay.
And so eventually I came, what was it, I guess about 7 years ago? Or
Yeah, it's been a while now.
Came up with a vegan version of the chai. And it's just similar. We also make organic granola, and so we did something similar with that. Our grandson is nut allergic.
Okay.
And during our time in the farmers markets, we found a lot of people who were nut allergic or else had family members who were nut allergic and were interested in a granola for them. And so I came up with our sunflower apple raisin granola, which is nut-free. We use sunflower seeds instead. Less people are allergic to those. It's a minuscule, or not as many people are allergic to sunflower seeds as there are people allergic to nuts, to tree nuts. And so that ends up being a good a good granola for those folks who need to have that. And we used local oats, and we also used apples from Brand Farms in Farmington, Minnesota. We do local sourcing because we have a lot of friends that just happen to be farmers.
Right.
We use their dried Harrelsons in that particular granola to add a little snap to that, and people seem to like it.
But the nuts and the granola kind of came forth because just selling chai at the market wasn't enough.
Right.
If we're going to put the time and the effort and money into being in the market, then we have to try to get the best return that we can.
Right.
And so then the granola came in, and then the baked goods came in.
Sure.
Because at the time, as Nia said, we were selling coffee because we had a coffee roaster who got out of the business.
Okay.
And that affected us. But before he did that, we were asked to provide coffee on Saturday mornings.
Okay.
And if I might tell a story about the baked goods. The first morning we were there Saturday selling coffee, and it was a great coffee, and we were a good alternative because their coffee provider quit their business. They were going to sell their business for health reasons. And so suddenly the market didn't have a coffee vendor, so they tapped us for that. And I remember that first day like it was yesterday. A woman came up to me, very determined, very deliberate, and said, "Where are the ginger scones?" And I'm sure I looked like a deer caught in headlights because I didn't know what she was talking about.
Right.
And I knew what a scone was, but I didn't have a good answer except to say, "I'm sorry, ma'am. We just were asked to come here. I'm not prepared for that, but I promise you I will have scones next Saturday." And
The rest is history.
the rest is history. Poor Nehemiah spent a week sampling every single scone I made so I could come up with a recipe. And so then the baked goods were born.
Okay.
And we just kept expanding, not to become not to become overwhelmed with
Right.
it, but to have enough product that made sense and we could actually profit from being at the market and at the same time offering good products for them.
Right.
So Nia does all of the chai, all of the granola, and all of the nuts.
Okay.
And I do all of the baking and the candy making.
All right.
Yes. Yes, she does.
So how did you? So you had to, of course, you had to file for a business, an LLC, and all that, and you did all that.
Yes.
And then how did you come into the packaging? Who thought up the packaging and all that?
Well, Google and the internet are a wonderful thing.
Oh yeah.
So we did the required research, and we're looking at different companies, and we had decided for packaging, plastic bags for you, PBFY company, and they. In business, of course, you want a superior product with the least amount of money that you need to spend for it, and they seem to meet our needs. And it's one of those things in business. You have to come up with how's your product going to look. How is it going to be received by other people? Is it flashy enough? This, that, and the other. We happen to be blessed with good friends.
Yeah.
And Terry's best friend's daughter just happened to be a graphic artist.
Oh, okay.
And she does this type of work. And so we worked with her, and we're able to come up with a concept. And now we actually have a product line. All the labels are slightly different, but they all follow the same theme. And then, of course, some of them are color coordinated depending on what the product is.
Sure.
And we've had quite a few people comment and ask us about our labeling and our packaging. We found that to have something like this, to have a line that actually looks good, attracts people to the table, and people are willing to. You catch their eye and they're willing to investigate.
Right.
So you always want to be on point with regard to your packaging and with regard to your labeling as well.
Sure.
And that's interesting you say that, because I remember when we first met, we were at the farmer's market, and how I started that product was working out, and I was working out, and I said, man, and of course I got into juicing, and I said, man, that'd be nice to get kids in this. I want, hey, how can I get kids to drink juice? Because I said, well, if I got some flavors that were kid friendly, and I put that and juice that and then put that over the ice, that's how I came up with Nature's Ice. And then it was always in the back of my mind for like 4 or 5 years, and then all of a sudden me and Rachel started dating. I ended up getting a better job, making better money, and I said, hey, I got the money, I got the time, this is how I'm going to do it, I'm moving forward. She's like, I support you every way. And then that's when we got out there, and that's how we met. But it's interesting too to see how you come up with this, and how things just kind of fall into place once you get going. And that's one of the things we want to say to the listeners out there, is that there is a little bit of hard work, but if you put the hard work into it, you can become successful, and you can produce a good product that benefits everybody and benefits you.
Yeah, I would agree with that, absolutely. And I would add to that, talking to other entrepreneurs who've been there.
Yes.
Like, for example, if you look at the back of our package, you see the nutrition label. Well, we hadn't a clue how you did that.
Right.
But if we want to be in stores, which we are, you have to have proper labeling, and you have to have the proper information. And what is the proper information? And then you have to have, what is the number? What is that number called? What is this number?
The barcode.
The
You have to have
barcode
a
on there. You have to have that. And yeah, you can get all of that on the internet. You can find that stuff. But who's the best person to talk to? What is the best place to go?
The people that have been there.
And the people that have been there. That is absolutely right. So, yeah, there's a lot of heavy lifting. There's a lot of legwork. But the resources are out there. And some of the best ones are the person who's standing next to you at the farmer's market, because they've probably been there.
That's exactly right. It's all about the experience. And now, we've been in business for quite a while, and we do our best to try to help new vendors.
Right.
We look forward to people pulling our coats to ask us different questions about different things. And when we're all strong, when each person tries to make somebody else stronger, then we're all stronger.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how the community works.
Exactly.
I want to tell you our philosophy with regard to what we do and how we do it. People ask us, why do our products taste so good? And we had one person said that we put magic into the food. Our magic actually is intent. And the way I describe that is everyone has gone through a situation where they've had a wonderful day. I mean, the world is your oyster. Everything went good that day. So you go with your friends or your significant other and you go to the restaurant and you sit down ready to have the good time and you get that meal made by that guy. You know who I'm talking about. He hates the job, can't stand serving food to these stupid people and all this, that, and the other. And you end up with the worst meal you could ever have, and it brings the whole day down.
Right.
Yeah.
But then on the other side, there's grandma. And grandma loves you. She wants the best for you. And when she cooks for you, she may not use the most expensive ingredients. She may not use the most expensive processes. But when you're done with that meal, you feel like you've eaten at a 5-star restaurant. And the reason is that she puts her love into that. She wants her intent is for you to be happy and for you to be satisfied.
Right.
So we kind of take that philosophy. We believe that there's power in food for good or for ill, depending on how it's made and how it's presented and the ingredients that are in that. And when we are making our products, we actually picture in our mind people eating or drinking our products with smiles on their faces.
Sure.
And being happy and being satisfied for what we make. So that's what we do. And then we do everything we can to try to make things positive around, when we're making it. And I usually have music going, so there might be a little classic rock in there. There might be a little electro swing. There might be chip tunes in there, or whatever. But something to raise my vibration, and in turn, that I believe all of that energy, that positive energy, goes into the food.
Goes into the food, yeah. Absolutely.
And that people taste it.
Yeah, well, and I like that. I like that idea too. That you lost your job, and then instead of feeling sorry, you went, hey, you know what? Let's do this, and everything equaled out,
Yes.
It's interesting that you say that because we had a decision to make at some point. How much of us were we going to put into Winter Goddess Foods? And I had worked in higher ed for 25 years and believed that I would be there until I retired. And best laid plans, right? And it became very clear, for reasons that are not necessary to go into, but it became very, very clear it was time to leave. And I did what in my world was completely outrageous. I walked away.
Right.
And had nothing to walk towards.
Yep.
I just had to believe that I'd figure it out. And so, I mean, that's no small thing for anyone to do. So anyone who does that, I congratulate you, because it's scary.
Yeah.
However, someone gave me a piece of advice one time, and he said, everything you need is inside you.
Yeah.
The ability to ask questions, the ability to learn, the ability to look at the world from, stand on top of the chair and look at the world from a different direction. And I'm not going to kid you, we went through some pretty tough times, but they weren't impossible times. They were just tough.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we've all been through tough, right?
Yep.
Right.
And you come out the other side of tough, being able to figure it out and believing in that. And that's what we ended up doing. And 12 years later,
Right.
we have a sustainable small business.
Yeah, and that's interesting you say that, because the other day I was at the gym and I was thinking about my next venture that I'm working on. And I'm like, okay, well, how's this going to happen? When does this happen? I said, hey, just let everything fall. Everything will fall in place. Just don't worry about it. And then next thing you know, a guy I work with, he said, oh yeah, you can use our stoves to help you. I go, you can do this here. You can do this here. And it all just came. And so I'm excited about this new venture coming up.
That's great. That's a great story. It's a great story. Yeah.
Believe in
Right.
the path.
And trust it. And again, 25 years in a good job with security and all of that. I come from a place where my father's flipped over in his grave. I know when I walked away from that job, he did.
Right.
But it was the right thing to do.
Right.
It was the right thing. So those are great stories to hear, and we hear them all the time.
So you guys went to the farmer's market, and you guys have called it a home. You call it a family.
The Midtown Farmers Market we're talking about.
The Midtown Farmers Market.
And you guys have went to other farmers market. Why do you call that a home and a family?
Well, I have to say, at least for me, every farmer's market has a vibe,
Right.
no matter what it is. And we've been to a variety, and there are some that are very welcoming, very wonderful markets. And then there are others that, let's just say that the vendors are more money oriented than they are people oriented.
Sure.
So if you're standing around and you're not buying, they're not happy with you.
Okay.
And they would rather get you out of the way so they can get to someone.
Get the buck.
The thing about the Midtown Farmers Market, I always tell people, I said, it's the cool people that shop at Midtown. This is the old hippie market vibe sort of thing. Everyone is a community there. I've seen vendors many, many times. If someone's tent's being picked up by the wind, you'll see 5 vendors rushing to help that other vendor.
You guys
wrangle their
definitely,
tent.
Nehemiah, you helped us that. Yep.
Remember that?
I remember that day there were 9 of us that lost our tents, and we were getting sandblasted by the residue from the construction right next door to us. So we're trying to sell things as we're getting pelted by sand coming at 40 miles an hour. So yes, that was a day. That was definitely a day.
Yeah.
But
Our
for the
time runs-
Midtown market,
Yeah.
you can feel the community support.
Yeah.
Yes.
And in fact, when, for your audience who's not familiar, where the Midtown is temporarily right now,
Right.
on Lake and Hiawatha,
Yeah.
on Hiawatha and Lake there.
Right by the bike shop.
Or actually, Minnehaha.
Or I'm sorry, Minnehaha.
Yeah, Minnehaha. Right by. Is it the
It's
deep?
at Moon Palace Books.
Moon
Yeah.
Palace Books
Moon
is
Palace,
right
their
there.
parking
Arbiter's
lot.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a temporary location because a few blocks away they're doing construction where the Midtown used to be and will go back to eventually.
Yes.
Okay.
I even heard that they're talking about a playground there.
Yeah,
It's actually a plaza that they're building specifically to house the Midtown Farmers Market.
and that will be really, really great. But before that, it took the city a while because they wanted to figure out what to do with that area.
Right.
And they actually suggested not having the Midtown market anymore.
Oh boy.
And the community, I've never seen anything like this. The community rose up and said, no, there will be a market. And it took,
What are you going to do to help us to make it sustainable and to keep it going?
and so there's obviously was lots of conversation about that. And I'm not privy to how the city makes decisions about that
Sure,
sort of thing.
right.
But the Midtown market will be. And
be alive.
It will be live and well and wherever it ends up being. And it so it'll be great when that spot is available. But I just really felt so great to be a part of a community that said, we need and want this market. And you figure out how to make that continue. And they did. So well done. The Corcoran, it is not just Corcoran, but that kind of Corcoran area
Right.
said, we want our market, and you figured out how we keep our market.
And what was really wonderful, Jamie, I've forgotten his last name, who is one of the co-owners of Moon Palace Books. He is a former Midtown vendor, and we remember when he used to ride on his big bicycle.
Yeah, I remember.
With a trailer with all the books that he would sell at the market.
right.
Yeah.
And then he elevated and got the place and got everything going. And then when they found out that there was no location for the market due to the construction, Jamie stepped up and provided his lot as a venue for us to be able to hold the farmers market.
Beautiful.
Which was really wonderful. And not only that, but he made improvements to the area, mulched down the grounds, put pavers up, and now we have full sidewalks going through that area just to accommodate everyone and to make the people more comfortable coming to the market. And he was a godsend. He really helped us out because
Right.
we could the market management could not actually find a place that was really viable to do what we needed to do with regard to the market. So Jamie stepped up, and we're really happy about that. And again, shout out to Moon Palace Books and Jamie, and for all he's done for the Midtown Farmers Market. Wonderful guy, wonderful book products. Go see it, Moon Palace Books on Minnehaha.
Moon Palace Books on Minnehaha. And also, too, one of the things at your booth, I've noticed that, and we definitely got to mention this because this is also a good thing. You guys take donations for Second Harvest Food land, I think.
Yeah.
Well, actually, we did, yes.
Yeah.
And for several years.
Yeah.
And then this year, because of all of the fallout of COVID over the past year and a half. The community of Corcoran and the Corcoran organization opened up what they call C-Spot.
Okay.
And C-Spot is a food pantry in the Corcoran neighborhood building, or the Corcoran organization building. I'm forgetting the exact title. Anyway, so now this year we collect whatever people want to donate.
Sure.
And that money goes to buy products and food and whatever's needed, and whatever we can contribute to C-Spot, which is open from Tuesday to Thursday in the Corcoran building.
Yeah.
So yes, we do that. We used to have a tip jar, and there was just a part of us that just said, well, maybe we can
And
do
that's open to anybody.
Yeah.
the Corcoran. Yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
exactly. Exactly. So we just decided to change it over, and Second Harvest Food is great. And we just are strong believers that no one has any business being hungry.
Right.
We live in a country where people don't have to be hungry.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
exactly.
we offer an opportunity for people to help. We help, you help. If we all help, as Nia pointed out earlier, if one of us is strong, we're all strong.
Right.
We're strong together. We're working together, and no one needs to be hungry. That just
Especially-
doesn't make sense to me.
Especially no children.
No
Yeah.
children.
No children in this country should ever go to bed on an empty stomach.
No.
That should not happen. Not
And
happen.
if I might add to that,
Of
we were
course.
Oh, yeah.
we were talking to the people, Alicia and Molly and Kia, who run
Right.
the Corcoran organization and also the farmers market. They were saying that people think that COVID is over and everything is
No,
Like-
they've done beautiful with the market on
yeah.
that.
They and that people are still in need in the
Yep.
community. So
Some people are back to work, but for a lot of our community members, finding a decent job is a challenge, and everyone has their situation, and the money's not rolling in like people think it's rolling in.
Right.
and there were people
are
hungry
frustrated.
before COVID, and they're
Yeah,
still
exactly.
hungry. So if you're looking for a way, you don't know how to be helping, and you want to be generous, we're happy to collect money for C-Spot for the Corcoran neighborhood,
Right.
and we would be grateful for that.
And if you don't want to do it with us directly, that's fine. Just go to Corcoran neighborhood and speak to them, and they'll be glad to accept any donation that you have of money or food products.
Absolutely.
And as a matter of fact, if you talk to them, they'll tell you exactly what folks need.
Sure.
And we love Second Harvest, and we still support them. This year we made the change to help C-Spot because it's right where Second Harvest is a clearinghouse for all the food pantries in the region and in the area. The C-Spot takes care of mostly the folks in the Corcoran area, although anyone can come and get something if they're hungry and need something.
Can you find C-Spot online or?
I don't know that they have it listed online with regard to that.
Well,
However,
you can Google the Corcoran neighborhood organization,
yes.
and their website will have the C-Spot on it, or it will at least have the names that you and somebody to contact. So if you contact the actual organization itself, they will be able to help you.
Yes.
Well, it was a pleasure having you guys on the show. You're a true
wanted
inspiration.
to make.
Okay, Rachel.
I just wanted to make one quick announcement. On August 7th, the governor is coming out. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
To
The governor will be out at the Midtown Farmers Market on August 7th, which is Saturday.
Saturday.
Saturday,
Yes.
yeah.
From 8 to 1, the market on
Yes.
Saturday. Yeah.
So you guys come out to the farmers market on August 7th. And you guys, thank you so much for joining us on our podcast, Infusion Health.
True inspiration to entrepreneurs out there, and trust. And from what you just heard, people, it can be done.
Yes, by anyone.
Yes.
Even if you don't have the experience, it can be done.
Truly, if I can do it, you can do
You
it.
can do it.
Anyways, closing out, history is built with lines of hate. On Infusion Health, we are trying to build lines of love, you guys be your best advocate. And until next week, we are out. Have a great one.
Thank you. And also, we want to give a big shout out to Fancy Ray and Tawny Roof, who just got married today. We just came from their wedding reception. Congratulations to you guys. Love you guys. And congratulations on your future. Thank you very much. Shout out to Fancy Ray and Tawny Wolf.